called themselves the Zareth Dominion, conquerors of 100 star systems, breakers of empires. They crossed galaxies in silence, expecting Earth to bow like the rest. But Earth was not like the rest. Their fleet emerged from behind the moon in perfect formation, ships shaped like jagged monoliths, crimson runes glowing across their hulls. The skies over every major city darkened. Sunlight vanished. People stepped out of homes, eyes turned upward. Not screaming, just watching, waiting. The news ran on every screen in every language. This is not a drill. Above the Earth, a shadow had fallen. And yet, we didn't scramble, we didn't panic, because we were ready. On the bridge of the Revenge of Mars, Commander Riasalis stood with arms folded, jaw locked tight, boots braced against the cold steel deck. A soft glow from the tactical map lit her scarred face. Behind her, the stars shimmered, and then bent. One by one, Terran warships decloaked from orbit. Silent predators waiting in the dark. The Zareth came to conquer a helpless world. But our warships were already in orbit. They had no idea what they'd just awakened. Ria's voice came low, cold, and steady. Permission to engage, they gave none. She fired anyway. Plasma burst cannons hummed to life across the Ares-class fleet. Glowing blue antimatter torpedoes launched in perfect arcs, slicing across vacuum like silver daggers. The first volley struck the Zareth vanguard. Their frontline cruisers crumpled inward, plasma bleeding from their ruptured cores. No shields. No defense. They never even got to fire back. Across their command bridge, Zareth officers hissed in confusion. One barked into a translator. "This is impossible. These creatures are planetary infants. How do they have this tech?" The answer: we didn't ask for it. We stole it. Ripped it from the corpses of dead scouts in the asteroid belt. Rebuilt their weapons in our secret orbital yards. Because we learned how they fought, and we designed alien commander to kill them. A towering blue-skinned monstrosity with 6 eyes and a crown of tech-woven bone, snarled into the void. "Surrender, humans, and your extinction will be painless." Ria didn't flinch. She turned to her weapons officer. "Target their command ship. Fire the railgun." The USS Vengeance, sister ship to the Revenge of Mars, aligned its rail cannon. A tungsten slug accelerated to near light speed. It punched through the void. No sound, no fire, just raw kinetic violence. The Zareth flagship exploded in silent agony. A shockwave of debris expanded like a dying star. The throne room of the alien fleet erased. There was no reply. No more threats, only silence. A second wave of torpedoes followed. Zareth formations broke apart. The Predator had become the prey. Inside Earth's classified lunar bunker, General Merrick watched the battle unfold on a hologrid. His voice shook as he muttered, "We just started a war with gods." Ria's voice came back through the channel. "No, we just killed one." The world had changed years before they ever showed up. We found their first probe near Saturn, barely functioning, hiding among rings and ice. Then came the black box transmitters embedded in our deep space junk. Then came the cloaked drones that blinked and vanished when we got too close. We knew something was coming. So we built the Shadow Fleet. Hidden in asteroid fields beneath Mars dust within Europa's ice, we trained soldiers in vacuum, built AIs that could counter alien logic before it reached us. We didn't wait for war to come, we built a blade in silence. Now it was drawn. More Zareth warships surged forward, desperate, vengeful. They formed new phalanx walls across Earth's orbit. Fusion weapons charged, they sent one last hail. This time not a demand, a plea. "Who are you? This world is primitive. You are not meant to resist." Ria stared at the comm screen. "For your kind, we were never meant to exist." Her voice was calm. "We're not done yet." Behind her, the tactical display zoomed out. New pings lit up from Jupiter. Dozens of red blips. Retreating Zareth ships forming a rally point on the far edge of the system. "They're falling back," said the comms officer. "They want to regroup near Jupiter's orbit." "Then we hit them there," Ria replied. "They thought Earth was their prize. Let's show them what happens when you bleed wolves." Jupiter loomed in the distance, its storms raging, red and eternal. The Zareth survivors limped toward it, licking their wounds, their pride in ruins. They still believed they could win. They hadn't seen the real war yet. From behind Callisto's icy shell, the Martian strike armada powered up. Weapons charged, engines silent. They had waited years for this order. Commander Riasalis stood at the edge of her bridge, eyes locked on the data feed. Ships cloaked in gravitational veils formed an iron crescent behind Jupiter's moons. She gave one command: release the Leviathans. On Europa, ice cracked. Massive launch doors opened beneath frozen seas. Steam and frost hissed as titanic Terran warships, the Leviathans, rose from the depths. Their plasma cannons burned blue, glowing like suns. From Mars, the heavy dreadnought Krakatoa activated its main core. Sensors across the solar system spiked. Something ancient was coming online. The Zereth had regrouped into a wedge formation. They thought they were safe, thought they had distance, thought they could reassert dominance. They were wrong. The first strike came without sound. Kinetic harpoons launched at relativistic speed, piercing Zereth armor before their sensors even registered the attack. Flames erupted across their formation. Ships spiraled in broken arcs, venting atmosphere into space. Zereth dreadlords screamed across internal comms. They've set a trap. Where did these fleets come from? Martian stealth ships decloaked in full. Hundreds of black-hulled vessels gliding from the shadows. Each one fired in perfect rhythm. Every shot hit home. Over the red swirling mass of Jupiter, the Zereth fleet began to die. The Leviathan of Europa powered its spinal cannon. Target, the Zereth command center orbiting Ganymede. Power surge, 120%, firing in 3, 2, 1. The beam cut through the void like a god's wrath. It didn't just strike the enemy, it vaporized them. What had once been a fortress became a spinning field of dust and molten hulls. Commander Rhea watched from orbit. No emotion, just calculation. The war was working, but it wasn't over. Dispatch strike teams, she ordered. We'll take what's left and burn the rest. Zereth remnants tried to scatter. Some ran for Saturn, others hid behind moon shadows. They didn't get far. From Titan's surface, long-range missiles launched on silent arcs. Hunter-killer drones deployed in swarms, dark as locusts, each guided by quantum AIs. One by one, the fleeing ships blinked off the grid. Dead, empty, gone. Back in Earth orbit, a lone Zereth vessel broke formation. It surged toward deep space, full burn, engines maxed out. It thought it could escape. But the Earth defense grid was already watching. From the dark edges of the Oort cloud, ancient satellites powered up. They hadn't been touched in decades. Most didn't even exist on official records. They didn't need crew. They were machines of death, designed to strike once and never again. The Zereth ship passed Pluto's ghostly orbit, and then a single pulse beam fired, bright as a nova, precise as a blade. The ship didn't explode. It simply vanished. Its last transmission, intercepted by Earth Command, was fragmented, static-filled. But the words were clear. They are not prey. They are death cloaked in skin. Commander Rhea stood alone in the war chamber of the Revenge of Mars, data spiraling around her in holographic fragments. She'd heard every Zereth message, every last plea. She didn't blink. Earth's secret had stayed buried long enough. The veil had lifted. We were no longer just a blue world spinning in the dark. We were something else now. Behind her, the AI on board whispered, "Shall I log this system as neutralized, Commander?" "No," she said. "Mark it as broken." Jupiter's orbit was now filled with debris, floating wreckage of an empire that had once seen itself as eternal. Now, it was just ash in our gravity well. The Terran fleet began to regroup. Command signals pulsed across dozens of moons and planetary stations. The Martian Armada shifted formation. Saturn's long-range battle groups moved into sweep lanes. The Krakatoa initiated recharge, but it wasn't over, because Rhea saw it. Far beyond the system, movement, new signals, faint, fast, spreading. Zereth outposts across the sector were activating. Their reinforcements had already been dispatched, and they were heading straight for Earth. Rhea didn't look surprised. She turned to her officers, her voice calm, cold, and final. "We don't wait for them to come to us again." She raised her hand and clenched her fist. Plot hyperspace jumps to their nearest colony worlds. This time, we invade. The Zereth Empire had ruled for millennia. It stretched across star systems like a disease, devouring resistance, rewriting cultures into silence. But now their edges were burning. Earth's fleets didn't wait. We didn't regroup. We pursued. The Terran Armada jumped beyond the Oort cloud, leaving the solar system for the first time as a true war machine. Our ships entered Zereth space at light-burn speed. Their sensor networks, untouched for centuries, lit up with emergency alerts. They hadn't fought a war in generations, and now we brought hell to their doorstep. The first colony fell in under 4 minutes. No warnings, no transmissions, just orbital bombardment and fire. Zereth screamed for reinforcements. They sent ships, they sent fleets, but Earth had learned their language, violence, and rewritten it in steel and plasma. Their ships weren't faster, their weapons weren't smarter, and their soldiers had never fought anything like us. Over a gas giant named Virexis, the last Zereth fleet tried to hold a line. 100 ships, veteran commander, their empire's pride, and we shattered it in 37 minutes. The Iron Sun, an Earth dreadnought the size of a moon, launched fusion bombs so dense they bent light around them. The sky over Virexis turned blue-white. Zereth ships boiled from the inside. By the time they called for retreat, there was nowhere left to go. Commander Rhea Salas stood at the center of a battlefield that spanned 2 light minutes wide. Debris floated like snow. She turned toward the next star system. They will never understand mercy, she said, so we will teach them fear instead. Rhea led ground forces onto Zereth Prime, the heart of their empire, their sacred world, covered in crystalline towers, temples of genetic memory, vaults older than human history. We brought plasma tanks, drop ships, and orbital fire. The capital defenses folded in hours. Earth's flag flew where their emblems once glowed. Their soldiers surrendered without firing. In the throne chamber, lined with obsidian tech and genetic memory walls, Rhea walked through the smoke in her black exosuit. Behind her, Terran Marines held position. Before her, the last of the Zereth High Council knelt in chains. The tallest spoke through broken teeth. We built empires while your species still burned wood in caves. Rhea didn't flinch. We built war and silence while you were gloating in your arrogance. You are a mistake, one hissed. You should not have risen. You were not meant to escape your cradle. She stepped forward, staring into the alien's 1,000 staring eyes. We didn't escape. We broke the walls you built to hold us in. She raised her sidearm, fired once. Silence. The Zereth Empire fell not with a scream, but with a final breath. Outside, Earth soldiers planted the Terran banner atop the highest spire. The sky was burning gold with fire from orbit. Zereth Prime was ours. And we didn't stop there. From their own archives, we mapped the extent of their dominion. Dozens of systems, hundreds of colonies. We gave each one a simple choice: surrender or vanish. Most chose surrender. Some tried to fight, none survived. On Earth, the news spread like a firestorm. We were no longer defending ourselves. We were building something greater. The age of Earth's silence had ended. The Terran Imperium had begun. Massive orbital cities formed above Earth. Spinning rings, glittering with refineries, shipyards, barracks, and quantum cores. The blue planet below was no longer just a home. It was a capital. On the orbital city New Horizon, fleets launched in every direction. The stars themselves had become our frontier. Commander Rhea stood on the glass deck of a Citadel station, Earth glowing behind her. Her metals shimmered. Her armor bore the scars of 3 campaigns. Behind her, new officers awaited their orders. Young, fierce, born in orbit, trained in war, loyal to the flame. She spoke without raising her voice. The galaxy is wide. There are others who will come for us. And when they do, they must see the truth before they even fire. She turned toward the command panel. A fleet map flickered alive. Dozens of blinking icons, thousands of ships, millions of personnel. She pressed one button. A pulse ran through the system. Terran warships, spread across light years, began moving as one. Engines ignited, cannons charged. They came to conquer Earth, she said, but now we are the storm. Final image. A colossal Terran fleet stretching across the stars, engines glowing like a wall of suns. And above it all, the Terran symbol, burned into black space. A silent war.